So, Quarter Century Bonanza is on the way. I'd like to thank a lot of people for helping me figure this out, because it took a while for Conspiracy Cali to be back. Quarter century, that means 1/4. It is a quarter of a century, 25. Konami has so far released 25 Yu-Gi-Oh cards to this day. But what is 2 plus 5? 7. 7 is a magical number when you pair it with 777. Are we getting lucky? Maybe. That means that if we are lucky, then the cards that we want will be where we want them, when we want them. Every 7th card in Quarter Century Bonanza is the reprint you'll need. I'm not crazy, you're crazy.
What?
Today, big dog, I'm going to be talking about the possible and confirmed reprints in Quarter Century Bonanza. I know that I talked about this set a little bit earlier, but I still have hope that it can be an absolute banger. Chad and I done a ton of research, and we're going to be talking about cards that we think that you should be selling before they plummet in price. Let's go ahead and jump on in. And there goes Leon putting raisins and potato salad and mayo and mac and cheese. Brother, I haven't even said any cards yet. So the Quarter Century Bonanza is coming out very, very soon. I think it's November 8th. And I'd like to believe that Konami is going to do a good job at reprinting cards. They've already gave us confirmed reprints for some really powerful Yu-Gi-Oh cards like Promethean Princess, Diabell Star the Black Witch, and Super Polymerization. So if you guys have low rarity copies of these particular cards, you need to sell these now. But it also got me thinking, since Diabell Star was in the 2025 Megatens, and since Promethean Princess is in Phantom Nightmare, there's actually a wide array of cards that Konami could be looking to be inside of this 79 card set that includes tournament ready cards. Okay, chat, I think I'm gonna start off with some cards. I'm gonna mention a couple of cards and why I think they're gonna be reprinted. Then I can't wait to see what you guys have for your hopium and copium takes, because I'm right, you're normally wrong. You remember when I told you to sell Fiend Smith Engraver before they plummeted in price and y'all didn't listen? Yeah, that was me. You remember when I told you to sell the Mo Charmies when they were like $100? Yeah, that was me. I ain't gonna lie, I do be missing sometimes, but like, it happens. I think Quarter Century Bonanza is going to be tied in with the 2022 Megatens. And if you look at a couple of cards that really stand out from that particular set, you see that we got Memotician, but no Memento cards. As we already know, the Quarter Century and Rarity Collection sets like to be able to reprint one particular archetype. I think the Memento Field Spell card is a premonition that the Memento cards will be reprinted inside of Quarter Century Bonanza. This is one of the 3 strategies that was in Valiant Smashers, and Centurion was just previously reprinted. Centurion was just reprinted in the last set, and I think there's a possibility for Volmonica to be reprinted in Bonanza too. But the more important thing is that Memento is still getting support and is a strategy that can be made readily accessible for players. If they reprint my Mementos, I'll give subs and shake on it. Shake, my buddy. Shake! I think what makes Memento such a great target is because the cards are relatively expensive. Bone Party is $20, Angel Witch is $15, and this is a strategy that has seen competitive success, so it does fall in line with the tournament-ready cards. I think it'd be incredibly wise to pre-sell your Bone Parties and your Angel Witches. The good thing about this situation is that there's no speculation or hype between this, so even if it doesn't come inside of the Bonanza set, you can just pick them up again for the same price. Knowing Konami it won't happen? Look, man, when we sell these cards before they plummet in price, it's always a gamble. A lot of times it pays off, but regardless, it's really good information to have, whether you have these cards and you want to get rid of them, or if you're thinking about picking up these cards. But also, make sure you're using my TCG player link down below in the description regardless. Imagine if the Fire King's cards in the Bonanza set, my brother! Bro, not a single Fire King card is over $1 outside of Oconics. And if they put it in that set, I would be sick. We also could say that the Snake Eyes cards are not getting reprinted. They just got reprinted in the Megatens. Black Flame Deity in the Field Spell for Horus? Please, there's no way, Berserker. Don't wish that on us. I want them in QCR. Colossus and Nemesis would be nice reprints. Oh, that boy. I'm like really close to be putting on my tinfoil hat, but hear me out, guys. Konami understands that there's nostalgia. This Bonanza set is a make it or break it. We know that Rarity Collection 2 was not as good, but it may be a premonition, just like how the Megatens were. In the Megatens, we got a random copy of Solomon Great Gazelle, and also in their announcements, we got Sky Striker Engage as a nostalgia card. Hear me out, guys. Yes, Both of those cards have relevancy to Yu-Gi-Oh! In today, but they also have relevancy in a nostalgia format. I'm just saying what they said. And this format just so happens to be Toss format. Toss format consists of Thunder Dragons, Orcus, Sky Strikers, Solomon Greats, and Altergeist. I think that the odds of Thunder Dragon Colossus and Orcus Galtea being QCRs inside of Bonanza is incredibly high. You guys got to think about it. These are the representatives for those particular decks. Orcus just got confirmed support in the future, and it seems like all of the Toss format decks are going to be getting more cards. Are you sure you went to the Dr. Cali? Bro, this is grade 1 material. Y'all just mad because I'm making so much sense here. Y'all didn't think of it like me. Didn't they reprint some other random cards in QCR for the 2024 Megatons? Like Phantom Knights? And don't Phantom Knight cards work with Orcus the best? I think it's a high chance that the Phantom Knight cards get reprinted there, but there's not really anything worth the value. As for Orcus, I think it's more of a decision tree. Do you value the ultimate rare copies of your Galteas and Thunder Dragon Colossus, or do you want the QCR versions? It's a decision tree that I think you'll have to make, but regardless, I think you're right no matter what you do. Now for the lower rarity copies of Galtea and a Thunder Dragon Colossus, if they're worth value and you can get something for them, you probably do it now. I would be incredibly surprised if they didn't follow that theme and do that, just like how I'd also would be surprised if Kashtira Finra and the Kashtira cards were not in QCR Bonanza. So the reason why I'm putting the Kashtira cards inside of QCR Bonanza is strictly because I can't think of 79 expensive cards that Konami would be willing to reprint inside of Bonanza. Kashtira Finra has skipped Rarity Collection 1, Rarity Collection 2. Why wouldn't it be in Rarity Collection 3, my boy? It fits all of the criteria. It's an old Yu-Gi-Oh card that's decently expensive, highly sought after, and still competitive in tournament play. If that's the case, put the tier cards in the set too. Damn, they might do that. I could see that happening for filler. I ain't gonna lie. If you guys also want to reflect back to Rarity Collection 2, they did put the planet cards inside of there for a random reason. And Konami likes to finish what they start. So there is a big possibility that all of the Viscus lore cards could be in there. I think the biggest one to pay attention to is Kashtira, because that is the strongest one out of all of them, and it's still competitively viable and expensive to today. It allows them to be able to fulfill two purposes. First, these are tournament ready cards, and secondly, it does fill them up to 79 tournament ready cards. Has the runic cards gotten a QCR treatment? Hatter said no. I don't see any signs of them pointing towards the runic cards, but I wouldn't put it past it. Fortunately enough, the runic cards are incredibly cheap and you can just hold on to them or you can flip them. It doesn't really matter. But speaking of such, we have not received a second SP Little Knight reprint, guys. Guys, I want you to follow me here because you know I'm slow. I may sound really old, but there was a point in time where Borolo Dragon was incredibly expensive. It got reprinted twice, once before the Mega 10s, once after the Mega 10s. Same thing with Appaloosa Bull of the Goddess, got reprinted twice. Access Code Talker was reprinted twice. Baron de Fleur was reprinted twice. These are all within the same year. I don't know if anybody noticed that pattern. Anytime there's a highly sought after staple boss monster of the year, it gets reprinted twice. Hell, even Underworld Goddess got reprinted twice within inside of the same year. SP Little Knight? Yeah, bro. I think that SP Little Knight is going to be reprinted in QCR Bonanza. It makes a ton of sense. Konami, like I said before, has always reprinted these type of cards twice in a year. I wouldn't call SP a boss monster, a right henchman maybe. Well, it's not necessarily about being a boss monster. It's about being the most sought after staple Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, for example, Triple Tactics Talent was reprinted twice this year. Forbidden Droplet was also reprinted twice in the year that it was reprinted. So it doesn't necessarily happen for just like boss monsters, it happens for those heavily sought after cards. But all in seriousness, SP, Finra, Bestials, and Thrust? Oh, see, Thrust is a tough one because didn't it already receive 2 reprints this year? It got the Maze reprint and also the Mega 10 reprint. So a third one, but the Bestials, I think there's some cookage for the Bestials. The Bestials are also like Kashtira. And to be honest, if I'm correct, this makes QCR Bonanza a really good set. Imagine you guys get SP Little Knight again, this time in Super, Ultra, or whatever the other trash is, actually making it accessible. And then you get Kashtira Finra, a highly sought after card. and you also get those expensive Bestials. This would make Quarter Century Bonanza better than Rarity Collection 2. I think it'd actually be fighting Rarity Collection 1 for dominance. And if Triple Tactics Thrust is in there, I can't stand on the chair to do the thrust, so you guys are just gonna have to, hold on. I think that those are some cards you should be looking into selling, because QCR Bonanza, if it's going to be a really good set and Konami wants to end the year in a bang, will have those cards. You think certain trap cards will be in the Bonanza set where Razius and Malice coming soon? There's a possibility. Konami has been known to set up things for the future, like they'll preemptively reprint certain cards that are good for certain strategies, which is the reason why I'm talking about stuff like Orcust. But there's also the possibility that they'll just wait for another reprint set or a side set that's coming up. Maybe it'll even be in Crossover Breakers. Daruma Cannon reprint? Very, very possible. QCR Macrocosmos? Take your ass home. But overall, those are the cards that I think you guys should be selling before QCR Bonanza. I also think that Low Prayer of Voiceless Voice is going to be in QCR Bonanza. It's really weird that Konami decided to announce a card from Phantom Nightmare and just only reprint one card in Phantom Nightmare. So I just picked another card that was decently expensive. Low is about 16 bucks now, which is depressing. But what would really be depressing is if Low became nothing, because they got multiple prints. And again, if we do get these type of reprints, Quarter Century Bonanza will be crazy. If we don't get these type of reprints, well, there's no reason to buy Quarter Century Bonanza, because there's really no other cards that should be in that set, right? Sell your Phantom of Yubel? Me personally, I don't think I would sell Phantom Yubel. For me, I think that's a little bit too risky at this moment. It just got an ultimate rare reprint. I'm not buying it. Macro is old enough to be reprinted as nostalgia pools. That boy Lee, we know this. We just don't want to see you flex on us with the QCR Macrocosmos. Chad, imagine going against a stun player in his Fossil Dyna, Moon Mirror Shield, or QCR. He activates a Dimensional Fissure QCR, you duster him, he Solemn Judgments you with a QCR Judgment, then flips up the QCR Macro. Callie, I am that player. Please stop. I can't get this hard. We're done. We're done. We're done. No more. No more.